scam. You tell me what department is a political scam.
It's the DEA. It's the DEA. It's a scam. Created by Richard Nixon, by the way, who was a Republican. So not a Democratic scam, but a scam nonetheless. Yeah, the DEA is actually one of like the biggest drug runners in our country. If you were unaware, like they bring in quite a bit. I don't know if they're the largest. They're probably cartels larger, but like they bring in quite a bit. Let me tell you a story. So my father-in-law, who is an attorney, told me this story. Now I don't remember if it was his client or another client, so I'll just tell him it's the client. Call him the client from now on. But like, so the client is an informant for the local police force, right? Yeah. So he hears that there's a big supply coming in. So he goes to his guys at the police force and say, hey, I've been told by a couple other people that there's this big supply coming in. So you guys keep asking me when the drugs get here to tell you. I'm telling you. What he didn't know and what the police force didn't know, and I'm sure you can guess, is that the supply coming in was actually the DEA trying to set up their own sting to take out, criminal organizations in the area. But for some reason, and I know they usually do, but for some reason, they didn't inform the cops. I think there was, something that they thought the cops were in on it or something like that, probably. I don't have the details on that. But they didn't tell the cops. And so the cops set up a buy, and the DEA set up their sale. And the client, who's the one who put, the cops with the DEA, was there because like he was the one who was supposed to make the introduction or something like that. And now the deal goes down, and the cops try to arrest the DEA agents, and the DEA agents pull out their badges and try to arrest the cops. And suddenly they realize what's going on. And since there's nobody to blame but each other for not communicating, guess what happens? They blame the client. The guy who was just like, he was doing what he had been asked to by the police, and he didn't know that it was the DEA on the other end of the sale. Why would he? So yeah, they arrest him. They try to throw the book at him. I don't remember the outcome. I think it was one of those that like the prosecutor threw it out kind of things. But nonetheless, yeah, the DEA is a scam, and we can get rid of that whole department. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Plus, if you want to take drugs, take drugs. Just, whatever you do while you're on the drugs should be your own responsibility. Like, don't take a bunch of cocaine and then go driving. Don't drink and drive. Don't do marijuana and drive. Like, stay out from behind. Just build more infrastructure and give me buses and trains. Anyway, so yeah, that's just a fun story. But also the DEA is a scam created by Richard Nixon, who was a Republican, not a Democrat. So back to the original point. Yeah, not the left's fault.